Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about something super exciting. One of my favorite Disney princesses of all time, Ariel. Yes, I am a child of the 80s. She has gotten her very own ColourPop palette, finally. It is called Under the Sea. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look at this palette today. And I also picked up the 2 highlighters and the lip oil that goes along with this collection. So we'll take a look at that as well. Here is the palette, and I have to admit, I was a little disappointed, as I have been in many ColourPop palettes over the past few years, because I really feel like there is so much more to do with an Under the Sea color story or a Little Mermaid color story than what they did. We get some really nice sea tones right here. This bright yellow is fun, but there's so many neutrals, and I find it unbelievable that there would be so many neutrals in a palette that focuses on mermaids and colorful tropical oceans, but that's my soapbox. So all that aside, I'm going to go ahead and swatch the shimmers for you, and we will swatch the highlighters as well. And I'm going to go ahead and talk through a couple of looks that I did to try out this palette. Now the look that I'm wearing today, I went with kind of like a different color scheme because I kind of wanted to explore what this palette could do outside of its more typical Under the Sea colors, which is what I would typically gravitate towards. So I just wanted to kind of explore it a little bit more. I started with this bright yellow, Your Majesty, because I really wanted to use that shade, as I think it's one of the more exciting ones in the palette, and it didn't work very well in the first look I did, so I really wanted to try that out. So then I kind of built the look around that. I put that bright yellow sort of on the first third of my eyelids and brought it up really far because I wanted it to really pop. Then I used this color down here, Sea Witch. Now this is kind of a neutral shade. It's like a warm mauve brown, but it has some nice pink sparkle to it. It is a matte, but sometimes companies will make matte polishes that have like the little bit of sparkle to them. So this is one of those. Unfortunately, it didn't really translate to the eye very well. You can see that color on the outer third of my eyelids, but it really doesn't have any sparkle to it at all. It really was just a nice kind of warmish mauve brown. Then I wanted to get some more sparkle in there. So I took Scuttle's Island and just did that little inner corner just to kind of brighten it up and break up that super bright yellow because I felt like it was just kind of overwhelming with it being all along the inside of my eye. And then I used this shade Young Lady to do just kind of a little shimmer in the middle of the lid. I don't know that I would choose that again because I feel like Young Lady being a warmer shimmer kind of clashed with the shimmer that is in Scuttle's Island. On top of the yellow, it turned like a blue-green, so it looks strange next to that warm shimmer to my eye. I also used this highlighter called Soft Shell. Now, I really like this color. It's very bright and pink though. Like you can see, it's super shimmery. It doesn't have as much multi-chrome as the other highlighter, which I'll get into when we talk about my next look, but I do really like the pink luster that it gives. I think it's really cute. And then also today I am wearing the lip oil that comes with the collection. It's called, let me see, it's called a glossy lip oil, I think is the official product name. Oh, glowy lip oil. Sorry. It's called a glowy lip oil, and its title is Find Your Voice. Now, it looks really interesting with that kind of color shift it has going on. The little applicator is all the way down in the pink, but when it came out, it really looked like this more bluey dewy kind of color. So I honestly am not sure what's going on with that. I wanted to try to mix it up a little bit, but I was gonna wait till I showed you what it looked like when it arrived so you could kind of see. Okay, so I'm gonna open this and give it just a little mixing, and you almost have to get it down in there to really mix it up very well. I don't know if it's gonna turn kind of like a purple color or if it's gonna stay separated. I'm interested to see. Okay. Yeah, the colors did mix a little bit, but it's hard to really get down to the bottom where that pink is, so not as much. But yeah, you can see it's really like just blue on the applicator. So super interesting, and I wonder if the shade will change as I use more of it. I'm kind of a little bit confused by the concept here, but it does have like big flakies of glitter. I'm sure it's not actually glitter because it does not feel like glitter on my lips, but it's definitely big flaky particles that are really pretty. I like how it turned out. So the other look that I did, I wanted to make it like a really sea-based look, I suppose. So I went in on the first third of my eye with this shade Dinglehopper. It's a gorgeous teal. And I just kind of made a nice line up this way because I wanted to kind of open up my eyes but make the look a little more dramatic and a little less like I'm going for normalcy. And then I used Shadowy Layer, this kind of deep navy blue on the outer third of my eye. And I think I did like a nice little cat eye with that because I wanted it to sort of like look really dramatic and really like the color belonged there. And then I went in with this color Secret Grotto. And that's what I put kind of all over the lid. Secret Grotto, however, did have that really dry kind of, it just doesn't feel good to me. Like it makes my sensory issues go like, ugh. It's just not, to me, a good formula. I kind of hate it. I'm sure there are some people who like this new formula that ColourPop has for some of their shimmers, but I kind of hate it. And I really struggled to get good color payoff, which was kind of a bummer because it's such a pretty looking shade, like the beautiful Caribbean Sea. This shade, Merfolk, I used towards the inner corner. And this one is also really gorgeous. It's a little more shifty. So on top of the teal, it kind of shifted a nice, lovely pink rather than showing up as another kind of teal. But it was really pretty. I liked this shade a lot, and the formula on it was much better. Okay, so since we're talking about formulas, I'm gonna go ahead and swatch these shimmers for you, and we'll see what they look like. Okay, so we're gonna start up here in the corner with Scuttle's Island, and this one feels nice too. The particles are super, super small and fine, so I'm having no trouble picking it up. It is really, what's the word I'm looking for? It's really, like it doesn't stand out a lot. But when the shimmer shifts into that blue, you can really, really see it. So it's almost like a highlighter, like meant to be a little bit invisible until you see that flash. It's an interesting concept. Okay, now we're gonna do Secret Grotto. And like, you can almost see it flaking everywhere as I do this. Yeah, and you can see all the big flakies on there, even though I've been like rubbing it very gently. I don't know, I don't care for this formula. But when you get it on the skin, it does look really nice. It's just a matter of, see, at the beginning of the swatch, you get all these like big pieces. So it takes a lot of smoothing to make it look really nice and even. It's just kind of a pain to work with. But that blue-green shift is nice and pretty. Okay, next we're gonna go in with Merfolk. I'm interested to see how this will look on bare skin. On the lid, since I used it on top of that teal, it definitely tended towards pink. Yeah, this one feels better to pick up, but it's also kind of dry when trying to put it on. But yeah, you can see the pink really stands out. I feel like this one also is a little bit more sheer with its base color. Like I'm not getting a lot of teal, but that pink flash is really, really pretty. Okay, now we're gonna do this neutral shimmer golden shell. This is the only one I haven't tried yet. And yeah, this feels a lot like Scuttle's Island. It's super fine, pretty easy to work with. And yeah, that's a pretty standard neutral looking shimmer. It almost fades into my skin tone. So you can't really see it very well, but that shimmer is there. And we've got one more. This one is called Young Lady. And this one feels a lot like Merfolk. The flakes are a little bit bigger, but it's nice and smooth and easy to pick up. And there you go. It's like a nice rose gold almost. I feel like it wasn't quite the right shade for this look that I did today, but it is a nice look. I'd like to see it next to the blues because then I think it gives more mermaidy vibes. Also, I'm just thinking about this now. Can we talk about how there is not a bright red in here? Like, why are we missing the color of her gorgeous hair? So those are swatches of all of the shimmer shades in the ColourPop Under the Sea palette. But I also wanted to do some swatches of the highlighters for you, just so you can kind of see what they're like. I'm using my little nail tool to open it because these are tricky to open. I don't know why companies make little tiny compacts so difficult to open. Like, I don't want them to pop open randomly either, but like, can we just get a magnet? Okay, we're gonna start with this one. It's called Soft Shell. And I'm gonna go ahead and swatch it. The formula of these is unfortunately also fairly dry, with kind of big flakes. I think it's the same formula as the eyeshadow that I don't really care for. But it is really, really, really pretty looking. You can see how bright that pink is. And there is kind of a gold flash at extreme angles. I wonder if that's not showing on my face just because my skin tone is a little different there and it blends in a little bit better. Okay, and this one is Not a Guppy. And this has that same kind of formula feeling. But the multi-chrome in it is so shifty and beautiful. Green, pink, blue, purple. This is just a gorgeous color to me. I think this is perhaps one of my favorite highlighters now, even if the formula is kind of annoying to work with. This is just a gorgeous color. So thinking about this palette, I do want to kind of review it on its own merits, separated from any sort of thinking about Disney or Ariel the princess. But before I do that, I want to voice one very quick complaint. Why did we not get a bright red shade? When I did my first look, I went ahead and used a bright red mascara because, like, it's Ariel. You need the gorgeous bright red of her hair. I don't know. I have always loved Ariel a lot. She's one of my favorite princesses, and I was really bummed to not see her and her like world represented as well in a palette as I would have liked. But I'm going to take a deep breath and get over it, and I will tell you what I think about this palette on its own merits, separate from that. Separate from that, I actually think this is a really nice palette. It only has that one shade that has the formula that I don't care for. Unfortunately, it is a shade that I would have really liked to work with. I feel like we didn't get a whole lot of color in this palette. So being a little hesitant to use probably the prettiest shade in the palette really bums me out. But other than that, the shimmers performed really well. So maybe they're moving away from this formula. We're all going to cross our fingers. But I also really like the colors that they did choose to include. This teal is gorgeous. This blue is gorgeous. This yellow, working with this was so easy. ColourPop mattes can be hit or miss, but with the ones that I worked with, which was this one and this one and this one, oh, and this one down here, they all performed really, really well. There was no patchiness. They were super easy to blend. So yay ColourPop for doing their mattes really well in this palette. And like I said, the color story, I do appreciate that we got some kind of pinky neutrals and also some kind of brownish neutrals. So whether you're going for kind of a more smoky-eyed, sultry look, or whether you're going for more of a true neutral look, all those shades are available in this palette. So it's a nice one to make kind of like a normal neutral look that has just a pop of color in it, which is kind of what I tried to do with the look that I did today. Pretty standard, except for that super bright yellow, which I thought was really fun. Again, it probably would have turned out better if I didn't try to pair Skittles Island and Young Lady. I don't think they went together super well. But other than that, super, super pretty. All in all, I consider it a pretty good value for a ColourPop palette. I'm going to introduce a new thing in my videos where I do a breakdown of cost per shade, just because I think sometimes cost can get obscured, especially in the indie brands that I usually review. Big palettes versus small palettes. So the cost for this one, since there are 12 palettes, sorry, mathing. Since there are 12 palettes, the cost for this one was about $1.30 per shade, which is a really great price, especially compared to the indies that I'm used to getting. And especially for getting several really good shimmers, I thought that this worked out to be a pretty good value if you are interested in the color story. The highlighters, overall, I thought the colors were really good. Again, I'm disappointed in the formula. What are you gonna do? I am gonna keep this one around for sure because I love the color even though it is hard to work with. This one I feel like dupes a lot of other highlighters I have, so it might go in the back of the drawer or be given off to somebody else. And the lip oil is really fun. I like the big flakies. I think it's pretty. Still a little confused by the whole color thing. Is it supposed to be changing colors? Are they just supposed to look like that? I don't know. But it is really pretty and I like the glitter on my lips. I might use it as more of a topper for like other colors of lipstick. That could be a really fun way to bring out those flaky glitters. So those are my thoughts on the ColourPop Ariel collection. If you have any thoughts, if you'd like to talk about the color story of the palette or your experiences with that particular finish, please do let me know down in the comments below because I would love to talk to you about it. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day.